Coetzee's work Dusklands tells two different stories from very different times and places, but both show a dangerous darkness that can grow inside people when they believe they are better than others and have the right to control them. The first story happens during the Vietnam War. We meet a man named Eugene Don. He works for the American government and his job is to write a secret report about psychological warfare. This means figuring out how to use words, pictures, and fear to break the enemy's spirit and make them give up, almost like winning a war by controlling minds instead of just fighting. Eugene gets completely lost in his work. He starts thinking America is always right and that the Vietnamese people are not really people with their own lives and feelings, but just problems to solve. He writes a very cold and heartless report. When his bosses don't like his extreme ideas, Eugene feels like a total failure. His mind starts to crack under the pressure. Feeling powerless, he does something truly awful and violent to the one person he can control, his own young son. This shows how his ideas about power and superiority poisoned his own heart and led to terrible pain right in his own family. The second story jumps back to the 1700s in southern Africa. Here we follow Jacobus Coetzee, a Dutch settler. Jacobus is tough and believes the land belongs to him and other white settlers like him. He looks down on the native African people, calling them rude names and thinking of them as less than human, almost like animals. Jacobus goes on a trip deep into the wild with some African servants. Things go very wrong. He gets terribly sick, and his servants, seeing how weak he is, leave him. Jacobus feels deeply humiliated. He does not see this as bad luck. He sees it as a personal insult from people he believes should always obey him without question. When Jacobus finally recovers and finds help, he doesn't just go home. Filled with anger and a need to prove his power, he gathers armed men and returns. He launches a brutal attack on the group he blames, killing people, taking others prisoner, and destroying their homes. He writes about this violence proudly, thinking it was his right and duty to punish them for not respecting his authority. Like Eugene, Jacobus thought he was superior because of who he was. He saw the land and its people as things he owned. When they did not act exactly as he demanded, he used horrific violence to put them in their place.